There's this thing that almost everyone in venture capital feels deep down but doesn't say out loud. It's that nagging frustration. Why do we keep seeing the same founders over and over? The same faces, the same ideas, the same pitches recycled through endless funding rounds. And yeah, it makes you wonder, because everywhere around you, innovation feels stuck, creativity feels boxed in, and opportunities for fresh, unheard voices vanish behind familiar names. It's like there's this invisible gatekeeper standing at the door of success, and that gatekeeper keeps saying, "You've done it before. You're in. You're new? Sorry. Try again." And the world spins on this endless loop, rewarding past hits, while quietly ignoring the raw, untapped potential bursting outside those gated walls. It's exhausting, maddening, and honestly, it feels unfair. You're tired of the same story, right? The same few founders get the money, the spotlight, the connections, while the rest wait on the sidelines with brilliant ideas gathering dust. And it's not because those other ideas aren't good, it's because there's a system that loves its comfort zones. A system that'd rather bet on familiar bets than dive into the unknown waters where real disruption lives. This isn't just about business, it's about a deeper fear. The fear of the new, the uncertain, the risky. But here's the brutal truth. VCs fund what feels safe, predictable, and proven. They fund what reminds them of past winners. It's human nature to chase certainty, but in that chase, something vital dies. The chance for transformation, the chance for something truly remarkable to be born. And it's painful, because maybe deep inside, everyone knows that this pattern is strangling innovation. That by doubling down on the same founders, the industry is slowly turning into a big echo chamber, recycling stories, instead of creating new ones. It's like watching a movie you've seen 1,000 times. Sure, there are parts you like, but you're craving something new, something that shakes you awake. So then, what can be done? How do you break this loop? How do you become the force that shakes the foundations instead of just rearranging the old bricks? First, it requires a shift in mindset. Nobody can afford to play the safe game and expect radical change. You have to start spotting what others miss. That's where the real gold lives, in people who don't have pedigrees, who don't come from the usual networks, who don't fit the profile, but have something raw and real to offer. Stop waiting for that perfect pitch or immaculate background. Look for authenticity, hunger, and stubbornness to learn and persevere. Those are the traits that don't show up on a resume, but matter the most when the real challenges hit, and they will. Next, the real power comes from embracing failure differently. Founders who are trying new things will fail, often and hard. But the difference is in what you see next. Do you see a founder shattered, or a founder learning, pivoting, building resilience? Funding decisions driven by fear of failure will never open the door to true breakthroughs. Instead, champion founders who wear their scars like armor. You can also stop chasing trends and start chasing truth. Trends come and go. Today it's crypto, tomorrow AI, the day after it might be something completely unexpected. But real innovation is timeless. It's about solving fundamental problems in ways that nobody thought of before. That means getting your hands dirty with the founder's world, asking deep questions, challenging assumptions, and not being afraid to get uncomfortable. Here's a radical idea. How about actually listening? Not just nodding politely in meetings, but listening with the intent to understand something new. When you do that, the noisy hum of familiar pitches fades, and you start to catch glimpses of ideas that could rewrite the rules. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, but it's necessary. And then, build communities that don't just look like you. the strength of venture capital won't come from playing it safe in echo chambers, but from the friction of difference. From founders who don't speak your language or walk your usual paths, but challenge you to think broader and deeper. And the most important thing? Be patient. Real change doesn't happen overnight. The temptation is to chase quick wins with familiar founders because it feels measurable and comfortable. But scaling new ideas, new talent, takes time. It takes ruthless dedication to the long game. This is about more than just investments. It's about shifting entire ecosystems to welcome the rare, not just the usual. It's about opening doors that were never open before, to the founders who've been ignored, underestimated, or left behind. It's about remembering that your greatest asset isn't the money you invest. It's the courage you bring. The courage to rewrite the narrative. To bet not on the past, but on what's possible. To ignite fires where none burned before. And don't fool yourself. This is a rebellion against comfort, against consensus, against the sameness creeping into the very heart of innovation. If you want to be the VC who changes the game, you have to stop funding the same founders just because it's easy or because everyone else is doing it. You have to start funding founders who make you uncomfortable, who challenge every assumption you hold, and who refuse to play by the old rules. Because when you do that, you don't just find startups, you find movements. You don't just back founders, you back futures. You don't just spread capital, you unleash tides of transformation that ripple beyond spreadsheets and boardrooms. This is a call for those ready to burn the old rulebook, to make funding a force for liberation, not limitation, to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. So ask yourself, are you ready to go beyond the easy familiar? Are you ready to be the change maker, the outsider, the edge where progress breaks through? Because the world needs more than just safe bets. It needs the wild ones, the relentless dreamers, the fierce learners, the founders who refuse to be anyone's copy. Stop funding the same founders and start funding the impossible. The ones who make the system shake, who challenge every assumption, who carry the future in their hands. And when you do, everything changes. The game changes. The world changes. Because true progress lies beyond comfort. So take that leap. Expand your vision. Chase the rare, the new, the untested. Because that's where the future waits, with the few who dare to become more. And the best part? When you do this, you're not just investing in startups, you're investing in freedom. Freedom from the predictable, freedom from mediocrity, freedom from a world that builds cages and calls it freedom. This is your chance. Not just to be part of the system, but to transcend it. Because the greatest venture capitalists aren't just funders, they're liberators. And liberation begins when you stop funding the same founders and start funding the few who are ready to burn the rulebook and build what comes next.